All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a huge question on every investor's mind right now when it comes to crypto. Is the Ethereum growth story over? Or, and this is the interesting part, is the most important chapter just getting started? Let's get into it. So here's the real tension, right? You've got these new regulations on the horizon, things like the Clarity Act, and it has the market wondering, can something like a government policy actually put a permanent ceiling on a technology like this? Is the party really over for Ethereum? Well, according to the analysis we're digging into today, the answer is a pretty resounding no. It's not an ending, it's more of a delay. Think of it this way. These regulatory headwinds, they're like hitting some serious turbulence on a flight. It's bumpy, it might slow you down, but it doesn't change your final destination. In fact, this might be the very beginning of Ethereum's most important valuation phase. All right, so let's really unpack this core idea. Is Ethereum a capped asset now with its potential forever limited? Or is it something else entirely? Is it just navigating some, temporary but pretty significant noise? And here's the key distinction from the analysis. It frames this as a soft cap, not a hard one. So what does that mean? Well, think of it like a speed governor on a high-performance car, not a brick wall. It slows down how fast you can accelerate, but it doesn't actually stop the engine. The ultimate potential is still there. Okay, to really get why that's the case, we have to throw out the old playbook for valuing things. You can't just slap a PE ratio on Ethereum like it's some regular stock. It doesn't work that way. Instead, this framework suggests its value is built on three totally distinct layers. So layer one is the most straightforward. Let's call it network cash flow. This is the nuts and bolts, the actual economic value being generated every single day from gas fees, MEV, and settlements. It's kind of like the operating profit of a company, the money it makes just by doing its job. Now, layer two, this is where things get really interesting. This is the monetary premium. And this is the point where ETH stops acting like a tech platform and starts acting more like, say, gold or a major currency. We're talking about its value as collateral, as a reserve asset, as something that can generate yield. And according to this analysis, this layer, this is the big one. It's the most important driver for its long-term value. And then you have layer three, the growth multiple. This is all about future potential. It's the premium people are willing to pay right now because they believe it could become the fundamental backbone of a whole new financial system. You see the same thing with a company like NVIDIA, right? Its valuation is way beyond its current profits because of that AI infra premium, the belief in what it's going to become. This comparison to gold really hits the nail on the head. I mean, think about it. The price of gold isn't driven by how many circuit boards or dental fillings it's used in. No way. Its value comes from its universal acceptance as a store of value, a reserve asset. And the whole point of this analysis is that ETH is on the exact same trajectory. Its real value driver is becoming that monetary premium, not just its tech utility. Okay, so we've got the three-layer model down. Now let's see how that model plays out over time, because this isn't some flip of a switch event. It's a journey, a progression through multiple stages. The source material actually lays out this really clear four-step staircase of adoption, and each step up represents a much deeper integration into the global financial system. You start with things we're seeing now, like ETFs, then it moves to a stablecoin explosion, then banks start using it for settlement, and the final step, well, that's sovereign adoption. And this is so crucial to understand. This whole journey isn't just about the price going up. It's about something called multiple expansion. And what that really means is a fundamental shift in how the world sees this asset. It's the moment the biggest financial players on the planet stop thinking of Ethereum as risky tech speculation and start putting it in the core financial infrastructure bucket. That's a game changer. And get this, the analysis even puts a rough timeline on it. It splits the journey into phases, and it puts us right here, right now in phase A. This is where the first ETFs get adopted and stablecoin growth starts to lay the groundwork for what comes next. We're literally at the beginning. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but you're probably thinking, how do we know when this is actually happening, right? How do we see that next big expansion coming before it's already here? What are the signals we should be watching for? Well, lucky for us, the research lays out 5 key structural signals. And let me be clear, these are not price predictions. These are fundamental shifts in the underlying market structure, things that happen before the big move in value. And what these signals show us together is a picture of an asset that's truly maturing. We're looking for a few things: accelerating growth in stablecoins, more ETH getting locked up long-term, real settlement volumes starting to beat out speculative trading, big institutions putting ETH on their balance sheets, and that classic sign of a maturing asset, the price going up while volatility actually goes down. Now, all 5 of these are super important. But the analysis makes a point to single out one of them as the main trigger, the one that really gets the ball rolling for all the others. And that trigger is stablecoin supply. So why that one? Simple. It's the cleanest, most direct measure of real, non-speculative use. It tells you how much the network is being used as actual financial plumbing, for payments, for settlement, not just for people trading back and forth. Okay, so we've got the framework, we've got the signals. Let's put it all together and do a little you are here map. Based on the data, where are we right now in this whole process? And this dashboard lays it out perfectly. Take a look. Signal 1, stablecoin acceleration, it's happening. Signal 2, locked ETH supply, also in progress. The others, still in the very early stages. So what does this tell us? It tells us we are absolutely in the preparatory phase. The engines are on, they're warming up, but we have not hit takeoff speed, not yet. And here's where it connects back to the real world, which is so cool. The latest earnings from Circle, one of the biggest stablecoin issuers, is pretty much direct confirmation of signal number 1. They're seeing growth not just because the market's doing better, but from real, honest-to-goodness institutional use for things like settlement and managing their cash. So the big takeaway here is that we've graduated. We're not just in a recovery phase anymore. We are now officially in the acceleration phase. And that is the direct lead up to the next major re-rating, that moment where the asset's valuation multiple could fundamentally expand. So to wrap it all up, what's the bottom line? According to this analysis, the long-term story, that structural expansion is totally intact. It's just been delayed, not derailed. The only real question left is about the speed. And now you've got a crystal clear data-driven signal to keep your eyes on, that accelerating stablecoin supply. So the question really isn't if, it's when. And now you know exactly what to look for.